Hey everybody, it's Mace1370, and today we're going to do a guide for the new expedition, Destructive Gigantes. Before we get into that though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also check out the link for my new Discord below. And we will be doing a Leaf Pack giveaway in the next video because I've reached over 300 subscribers, so I really appreciate all of the support. It's really awesome. So to enter the Leaf Pack giveaway, please add a comment to this video with your in-game username in Epic 7 and your Discord handle. So if you're a winner, I can get in contact with you to give you the Leaf Pack. Alright, so Destructive Gigantes, our new Dark Expedition. I think we can click on Team. Yeah, there we go, to see the boss guide. So there are a couple gimmicks you need to keep in mind for this fight. One is he will do increased damage to your frontline hero if that hero is not a knight. Another gimmick is that he will debuff everybody on your team with this debuff called Electrocute, and whenever a hero with this debuff ends its turn, Electrocute will deal damage to everyone, all of your heroes, proportional to their max health. You can only get rid of Electrocute by using a non-attack skill, so a skill that does not attack will wipe off that debuff. You can't cleanse it or do anything like that. So ideally, all 4 of your heroes have a non-attack skill. He does the usual like increased damage to the opposite element, light. You can still bring light elements in levels 1 and 2 for this just fine. I haven't tried the 3rd yet. And then after a certain number of turns, he'll go berserk and just wipe everybody. So those are really the only gimmicks you need to pay attention to. It's not too bad. This little guy right here, it's an ad on the fight. He will occasionally attack your heroes and increase their skill cooldowns by 1, which can be annoying because he might increase the cooldown on their non-attack skill and make it hard for them to remove the debuff. So here's the team I used. I picked Falconer Clary in the first position because she's a knight, so she'll take decreased damage. Her S3 ability is non-attack, so it'll wipe off the debuff. It can also defense break the boss to increase my damage. And her passive ability will heal everybody on the team and help offset that debuff damage that the boss puts on everyone. Tamarin, an excellent healer, has many non-attack abilities to get rid of the debuff on herself, and also heal and CR pushes the team. ML Luluka I think is pretty good for this fight. She has a non-attack skill in her S2, which will be able to remove the debuff, and then she just does damage. And then Arbiter Vildred is just here for damage. He's not really particularly suited for this fight, he just does a bunch of damage and I have good gear on him. Other heroes I think you could consider. Lilius is good. She has, her S2 is non-attack. She's also a knight, so she could fit in this first slot here if you have Lilius. Another hero that you could use would be Vivian. I don't have great gear on Vivian right now, she's just kind of for PvE right now, but I might try her in the RB slot. Vivian's S3 is a non-attack, so that'll wipe off the debuff, and then she does a bunch of damage herself. Gives herself greater attack buff and attack buffs the team, so I think that's definitely a viable option as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example fight. Okay, so I think an important thing when you're gearing your heroes for this particular PvE encounter is that speed is awesome. The more speed you have, the better it is because they will cycle more quickly and they will be able to use their non-attack skills more often, getting rid of the debuff, which is ultimately what can wipe you in this fight. This is only level 2. I think most people do level 2, so that's why I recorded this one. Level 3s have a pretty significant increase in difficulty, and they don't seem to offer enough increased reward to be worth it for most people. Also, just be aware of the speed tuning on your heroes. Tamarin is going to be able to use her S2 here, and I think if she was a little... I think this is good, so she'll be able to clear the debuff off. You just want her tune to be able to do that. Flurry, unfortunately, is going to, use her debuff before, or use her S3 before the debuff goes off. But you have to build her fast. Same thing with Lulu. So it's okay. You can see that Flurry's passive here is able to somewhat counteract the Electrocute debuff on the second difficulty for this encounter. RB's pushback also is helpful. It mitigates some of the damage on your team. So there's that defense break. Another reason I like Lulu here is because you can see her triggering her skill 1 a second time, hitting into the defense break really adds a lot of damage. Her going into stealth also helps, mitigates the damage that she takes when the boss does the AoE attack. I have her on Dingus Orb here, which I think is a great choice, because it gives her a barrier whenever she uses her passive and helps her survive. And so you can see this play out. There's really not too much more to say. The team is very self-sufficient. This is all on auto. It does get a little close every so often, but my heroes are built super squishy. If you wanted to build heroes specifically for this encounter, you could just make them a little bit, thicker in terms of HP, and I don't think there would be any risk of them dying on the second difficulty. The heroes that I'm using, Luluka and Arby, are essentially only on DPS gear. They have like 0 survivability stats on them, so I don't think it would be hard at all to get DPS heroes to survive this fight. I'll go ahead and let the rest of this play, and then if you'd like to see the stats for the heroes, I'll go over all 4 of these at the end of the video.
I will destroy everything. Slowly. Here. Here. Okay. Together. Here I go. Come to me. Let's go, Flame. Tire them out. That's right. Go away. Yep. Don't take your eyes off me! This is just perfect! I've been waiting to try out these new clothes! Listen! To my song! Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine! Not bad. But you're no match for me! Go away.
Okay, so let's go over the heroes I used for this team. Let's see, first is Tamarin. I'm a big believer that Tamarin can be put on leftover gear. She doesn't have to have the best stuff, that you have available. I have her at 222 speed, obviously the faster the better, and then just as tanky as you need her to be. I think 16k HP and 1500 defense is plenty. She could easily get away with less than this and still be very effective. She doesn't need any effectiveness for this fight. She has nothing to strip, with her idle form, but maybe other fights you might want her to have more effectiveness for that reason. I have her on Potion Vial here, which I guess doesn't really do anything for this fight since there's nothing to wipe, but you could easily switch this to like Magaraha's Tome so that she cycles more quickly. That would be a good choice, or maybe Celestine for healing or something like that. Just any of the other Soul Weaver artifacts would probably be better than Potion Vial for this particular encounter. But I'm lazy and she's usually on Potion Vial and I just haven't swapped her off. So Falconer Clury. Falconer Clury has more demanding gear. For PvP, I think 260 speed is probably the minimum that I would run her at. Ideally, I'd like her at like 270 or 280, but who has that much speed gear for all these different units? I feel like mine is stretched pretty thin right now. She's fairly tanky with this speed. The boss for this expedition has 100 effect resistance, which means that 85 effectiveness is how much you need. Any more than 85 effectiveness will have no additional effect on this boss, because you can never reduce the effective resistance below 15%. The notorious 15%, as people say. So 85 effectiveness is what you need. And then, just as fast as possible for Flurry. So let's see, the next up is, I think, our Dark Heroes. We have Arbiter Vildred. So RB is basically just on damage gear with speed. I think 227 speed is pretty decent. Ideally, I would like him at like 235 or 240 with similar stats, but it's just so hard to get that. I'd have to sacrifice probably some crit damage. It's also triggering my OCD that his attack is not 4K. He's S imprint, so I could get it that way if I could ever pull another Vildred, or maybe if they ever reset the arena season and we get a new slate, I could do that. Or I could maybe pull a basket once in my life. That would be nice, because my basket's only plus 21. Anyways, I'll stop complaining about RB. It's just the attack is triggering me. So yeah, just as much damage as you possibly can. And you can see he is super squishy. He has like virtually no hit points and defense on his gear. So he just survives just fine. On the rare chance he dies, his passive will probably reset before it happens again. So here's top model Lilica. She has the same stats as I showed in the previous video. You just want her really fast so that she can cycle her S2 ability to get rid of the electrocute debuff, and then also to see our push your team. Another really nice thing of having her for this expedition. Mine isn't even maxed yet. I'm getting close to maxing her molas. I will plus 15 her eventually. I think she's a good hero. But molas are scarce. So those are the heroes, and like I said before, consider maybe Vivian and Lilius, depending on who you have in your roster. And I'm sure there's a few other heroes that I haven't thought about, but those are the ones that are pretty solid and come to mind. So thanks for watching. Make sure to make that comment below for the entry into the Leaf Pack giveaway. I'll see you next time. Later.